Hi, this is Wes Fryer, and I am a 4th and 5th grade classroom teacher in a public elementary school here in Oklahoma, and I am the parent of 3 children who are currently in public school here in Oklahoma. And what I'd like to share with you in this video briefly is why we do not need to reject and get rid of Common Core standards in our state, but why we do need to pass legislation that does away with high-stakes testing. Now, I'm recording this today on Monday, April the 7th, 2014, and a week ago, we had over 35,000 teachers, parents, and other members of our communities descend upon our state capitol in Oklahoma City, very upset about several things, and one of those is funding. Now, we definitely have good reason to be upset about things happening in public education in our state, and I'm not going to talk about all of those. What I want to really focus in on is whether or not we need to get rid of Common Core state standards. Now, if you do your homework, and I would encourage you to do your homework, the Common Core state standards were advanced principally and would benefit most a particular group if they're implemented as they were planned, and that is the testing companies that write tests and sell tests, which we pay millions of dollars in our state every year, just like every other state in the nation does, to implement and to have. It is really important for us to understand that high-stakes tests, meaning the tests that we use to threaten students that they're not going to advance to the next grade if they don't pass these tests, and that now we're threatening teachers with to say if your students don't score well in this, you're going to lose your job. High-stakes tests have a very toxic, detrimental, and destructive effect on public education. This isn't something new. This has been happening for well over a decade. It goes back to the presidency of George Bush when No Child Left Behind was passed. And this has been continuing, and now with the Common Core state standards, it is advancing further. So parents like me, and perhaps like you, have good reason to be upset at many different things happening in public education. And one of them is that because of legislation for high-stakes tests, many students, as well as even some teachers today, are thinking that the purpose of education is testing, and it is not. High-stakes testing is a big problem. And let's talk about Common Core state standards. It is a good thing for us to change and improve our standards. And if we as a state in Oklahoma would get rid of Common Core state standards, we're going to have new standards. We have been in this process of upgrading our standards, and there's a lot of reasons why those need to be updated. One of them is we need to integrate new requirements to use technology to allow students to develop digital literacy, to be able to safely publish and share online. There's a lot of things that we need to update. Well, I just heard today that some are saying if we get rid of Common Core state standards, we would pay millions of dollars of Oklahoma tax dollars to write our own separate standards. That would be a waste of money. We don't need to do that. So, do we have things to be upset with as Oklahomans about public education? Yes, we absolutely do. But one of the things that we do as a result of that should not be to just get rid of all the Common Core state standards. We need to keep those standards, but we need to get rid of the high-stakes testing elements that are part of them. We need to opt out of them. We need our legislators, we need leaders to stand up in our state and constructively help public education. Do you know what makes a high-quality educational learning experience? There's several different things. It's complex. It's not one thing. But one of the key things are great teachers, and teachers who are supported in the classroom and who are not torn down and forced to pretend like the reason we're in school is to take tests. That's not why I'm a classroom teacher. I am not, dedicating my life to education because I believe when we have tests of fear, suddenly we have great learning. It's challenging and it's hard to engage students and to help students be excited about learning and to help them be motivated and help them learn. All of those things are hard. High-stakes tests don't get us there. So, as a state, please, if you're a legislator, work with your partners in the legislature and craft legislation that ends high-stakes testing. We're not going to stop assessment. But what we can stop is this ridiculous waste of money, which people are right to be upset about, which is flowing to testing companies instead of benefiting our students and benefiting our teachers. If, like me, you're a parent, you're not in the legislature, I encourage you to write your legislators. You can visit my blog, speedofcreativity.org, and I'll be posting there the letter that I am sending to our legislators, encouraging them not to get rid of Common Core state standards, but yes, to get rid of high-stakes testing in our state. We've got lots of important work to do as educators, as parents, as grandparents, whatever your hats might be that you wear in our state. High-stakes testing that's damaged our state, and we need to take action. But we don't need to throw out Common Core state standards in the process of trying to improve education. So I encourage you to contact your legislature. If you are a legislator, do the right thing. Let's keep Common Core state standards, but let's get rid of high-stakes testing. And let's properly fund public education, in part by shifting those funds that we've been sending to testing companies and by helping to pay teachers, helping to provide for technology, helping to pay for the school operations that we need to have great 21st century schools.